Hey guys, welcome back to Shristi Tech Academy. In today's video, we are going to deep dive into ModelMapper. We are going to learn how to use ModelMapper with entities that are having a relationship mapping, as in entities that are using one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, many-to-many mapping. We will be learning how to use ModelMapper to convert the entities into DTO and DTOs into entity. This is kind of a complex application. If you have bumped into this video directly, I would suggest you to watch the first video that I have posted about ModelMapper, where I have taken a very basic example and shown you how to convert your entity into DTO and DTO into entity object. In this particular video, I have already created the structure. The main idea is I just want to show you the exceptions that may occur when you are working with such complex applications and how to handle the exception while you are working with ModelMapper. What is the process that you need to follow, or what are the new annotations that you need to add? These are the things that we are going to learn in this particular video. Okay, now let us get started. Before jumping into the coding part, let us first see the domain models that are associated with this particular application and the relationship between them. Just like the previous application, here also I am going to use the domain model as book. This book class has relationships, that is one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one and many-to-many. Book is my main entity. One-to-one relationship for book is book details. One book has one book details object. Here the relationship is unidirectional. Next one is one-to-many. One book can get many reviews. In my reviews class, I can have review ID, the reviewer name, the comment that he is giving and the rating. So one book has many reviews. One-to-many relationship. In this case, the reviews is not going to have the book object. In the first case also, book details is not going to have the book object, but book will have book details object, book will have reviews object. So here also it is unidirectional relationship. The next one is many-to-many. In case of many-to-many, let us have the classes category. One book can be in many categories. One category can have many books. That means in book class you will have a list of category. In category class you will have a list of books. In both the sides of the classes you are having relationship. So here it is bidirectional relationship. Next one is many-to-one. In case of many-to-one, I am having two classes. One is publisher, the other one is author. Many books can be published by one publisher. Many books can be written by one author. So in my book class, I will have one publisher object, one author object. When the user is searching in a website, using the book, he can get the publisher details and the author details. Now, using the publisher also, I want to get the book details, which means publisher has a list of books. One publisher having many books belongs to one publisher. So this case I am having it as bidirectional relationship. In case of author also you can do it, but for author I am maintaining it as unidirectional relationship. Using the book I can get the author details. Using the author I cannot get the book details. If I want the book details, I need to add list of books in author also, but I am not doing that. Okay, so these are the classes that we will be having in our application. I have already created all the classes and added the appropriate annotations relevant to JPA. The idea for this particular application is just to show you when you are using ModelMapper to convert DTO into entity or entity into DTO, what are the problems that you can face, what are the exceptions that may occur and how to handle it. Now let us also see the tables associated with these classes. Obviously we will have book table, book details, reviews, category, publisher and author, which means we will have 6 tables. But what about the primary key foreign key relationship? Let me show it to you in a pictorial representation here, and then we will proceed further for the coding part. The first one is the book table. The book table has book ID, title, ISBN number, then price. Together with that, we will have few other columns also. To start with, I am just giving these column names. Book ID is 1, title is Java, ISBN number is some hexadecimal value, price is 900. One book has one book details object, which means we need to have book details table. So let me create the book details table. Book details table has details ID, then language, the number of pages and the year in which it was published. Now let's say the book details ID is 10, language is English, number of pages is 300, year published is 2020. Okay. What is the relationship between book and book details? It is 1-to-1, which means I should either have book ID in book details table or book details ID in book table. In our case, the main domain model is book. If you are having a bidirectional relationship, in both the places you should have the foreign key. As in, book ID should be available in book details table, book details ID should be available in book table. But now, I just want book details ID in book table. So let us add that. So this is the extra one, the next column, which is details ID, which is the foreign key sitting in book table. Let me add it as 10. The next one is category. The relationship between book and category is many to many. One book can be in many categories. One category can have many books. For that, first we need to save the category in category table. Let us have the category table having columns as category ID and category name. And let me add few categories. You can have any number of records. Now, the relationship between book and category is many to many, which means one book can be in many category, one category can have many books. So, can I add book ID in category table or category ID in book table? In both the ways it is not possible, which means I need to create a junction table which will have the IDs of both the tables. So let me create the junction table which has book ID and category ID. This table is book underscore category. As in book ID is 1, the category ID is 101. Book ID is 1, the category ID is 102. One book found in 2 different categories. The next one is one to many. For one to many, we have reviews. So let me create the reviews table. The reviews table has review ID, reviewer name, comments and rating. Let's say for this particular book, I have few reviews. Let us have the review ID starting with 50. 50, 51, 52. I am having 3 reviews for this book with the ID 1. Let us have the name as A, B, C and some comments. Now, how will you provide the relationship between these 2 tables? Book is 1, reviews is many. So, the foreign key should be available on the many side. I can add the book ID in the reviews table, or I can create a separate table for combination of book and reviews, just like how we have created book underscore category. So let us create a junction table. Guys, all these tables will be created automatically based on the annotation that you are providing in your entity classes. You are not going to create these tables all by yourself. I am just trying to show the tables that will be created when you add the annotations in the appropriate places properly. Here we will have it as book ID and review ID. For one book, I am having many reviews. Okay. So this is book underscore reviews. The next one is publisher table and author table. So let us create those two tables. One is publisher. This is the publisher table having publisher ID and publisher name. Maybe you can add one more column as city. So this is the publisher table. Let me have the publisher ID starting from 20. Publisher name is Apple Publishers. City is Bengaluru. Now many books belong to one publisher. So where will I add the foreign key? Remember, always the foreign key should be added on the many side, which means the publisher ID should be added to the book table. So we will have one more column which is sitting as a foreign key, publisher ID. It is 20. Let's say if I am having the next book, as in book 2, this is 7 Habits, ISBN number B123, price is 800. Now it will have the appropriate details ID, the appropriate publisher ID, and also there will be mapping here. You will add 2 on which category it is coming, accordingly you will add it. Finally we will fill the table. The last one that we are having is author table. Let us create the author table. In author table we will have author ID, author name, again same city. Let us have the author ID starting from 50. Author name is Shri, city is Bengaluru. Many books belong to one particular author, which means book is the many side, author is one side. So I need to add the author ID in the book table. If you want, you can have a junction table just like how you have done between book and reviews. You can create a junction table between book and publisher, between book and author also. But now, as of now, for my application, I am adding this author ID in the book table. Author ID is 50. Now for the second one, let us assume that the same author ID is there. Means many books belong to one single author. Many books belong to one single publisher. As in, I can have the same publisher ID. What about details? For this book, the details will be completely different. That is 1-to-1 mapping. So it is 1, English, number of pages is 200, year of publishing is 2025. So here it will be 11. What about reviews? The reviews part is separate. The second book will have its own set of reviews. So we will have like 53 and 54. The reviewer name is D and E, some comments, and accordingly you will be adding it over here to 53, 54. Likewise you will get it. Let me just erase this and add it here. 53 and 54. This is book underscore reviews. And what about publisher? Publisher is the same publisher for both the books. And what about category? Many books belong to one category. One category can have many books. For the second book, let us have the category as thriller and tech. Which means here I need to add 2, thriller is 100 and tech is 101. This is how the tables will look like. Do we have to explicitly do this mapping? Not required. If you are providing the proper annotations, all these mapping will be taken care. The appropriate tables will be generated. Okay. With all this understanding, let us jump into our application. Okay, guys, this is my application and this is the pom.xml. These are the dependencies that I have added: data.jpa, ModelMapper, web, connector.j, Lombok. And these are the domain models. Let me first start with book. The properties of book: title, price, ISBN, book. ISBN will be auto-generated in the backend. We have written the logic in the service layer. The relationship between book and book detail, it is 1-to-1. Here I have given cascade is equal to cascade type.all, which means when I am saving the book object, the book detail object should be saved in book detail table automatically. Okay, so that is the purpose of writing cascade is equal to cascade type.all. What is the purpose of this at join column? Whenever this table is getting created, the foreign key will be automatically added, as in the ID of book detail will be added as a foreign key in book table. The column name will be something like book underscore detail underscore the primary key of book table, which will be too big. I don't want that. So to give a different column name, we are using this to provide a different column name for the foreign key. Okay. Now let us see what is there in book detail. The class is annotated with that entity. It has detailed ID, language, pages, year published. Okay. Go back to book. Next is many to one. Many books belong to one author. Many books belong to one publisher. Here also I have used adjoint column annotation. The purpose of using this is, if I don't give it, the column name will be author underscore the primary key that is available in the author class. That is author underscore ID. It will be something like author underscore ID. I don't want that. I want to have a proper column name. So we are using join column. Remember, in case of one to one and many to one, the purpose of using adjoint column is to provide a proper column name. Nothing else than that. Same thing we are doing it for publisher also. Okay. Now let us see these two classes. Go to author. In author, I am having author ID, name and country. This is what I told. Author ID is the primary key that is available in this particular class. So when the column is created, it will be author underscore ID. I want to have a short name. So we are using adjoint column annotation. Okay. Next is publisher. Let me go to publisher. This is my publisher class. Here we have publisher ID, name, address and also list of books, which is annotated with one to many. Why? When the user is searching for book, he will get the publisher details. If he is searching for publisher, with the publisher I should get the book details also. Get the list of books published by this particular publisher. So we have added at one to many mapped by publisher. Together with that, if you notice, I have added at toString exclude equal to books. What is the purpose of doing it? When I am trying to print the book, it will come to this particular class and print the publisher also. In toString, publisher is included, correct? In case of book, it will print publisher. But publisher has list of books. Publisher will try to print books. Let's assume one publisher is having 2 books. In the first book, again there is a publisher object. Again it will enter into the book class, enter into publisher, publisher to book. It will become recursive. To avoid that, we are explicitly saying, please exclude books in toString. When you are doing it as a REST API, you should add one more annotation, that is add JSON ignore. That while testing the application, we will do it. Okay. The next one is one to many. One book can have many reviews. When I am saving the book object, the reviews of that particular book should be saved as records in the reviews table. Let us check in the review class. Review ID, reviewer name, comment and rating. That's all. The next annotation is many to many. In case of many to many, we have used adjoint table annotation to get a different table, book underscore category. Guys, in case of one to many, I have not added adjoint column annotation. If you add adjoint column annotation, automatically book ID will be added to reviews table. If you don't add anything, what it will do is it will create a junction table with the table name as book underscore reviews. Whatever property name you are having, with that it will create. Of course, the column names will be book underscore ID and reviews underscore review underscore ID. That is okay, fine. Next is many to many. In case of many to many, we are having category. I want a proper junction table. If I don't use adjoint table annotation, it will create 2 tables as categories underscore book, and it will go to the category. From category also we are having many to many. So it will create it as books underscore category. Categories underscore book, books underscore category. I don't want 2 tables. Just to keep it to one single table, I have added this annotation, join table annotation. Okay. Here I have used cascade is equal to cascade type dot merge. As of now, let me remove this. We should understand it and then we will try it out. Okay. For all these classes, I have added the appropriate DTO classes. For book, I have created it as book request. The same class which we had in the previous application. To that I have added the remaining DTOs. Remember to have the same property name as that of your entity class. If you are having a different property name, explicitly you need to do the mapping. I don't want that, so I am trying to have the same property name. Next is book detail DTO. Then the third one is author DTO. Then next is publisher DTO. And the next one is review DTO. And the last one is category DTO. You can see that. In category DTO also I have added 2 string. In publisher DTO also I have added 2 string. It is very, very important. Fine. In service, what is that you will create? Of course, you all know we need to create book service. I have added just few methods. Add book, update, delete book, get by ID, get all. Get by author I am not going to implement it. You have to implement it using custom query. We are not going to touch that part. Next is I have category service, publisher service and author service. Why am I creating services for these particular classes? The reason is author can be saved separately in author table even before getting attached to book. Publisher is already available, so that also can be saved separately first. So whenever you are working with many to one and many to many, you create the appropriate service layer so that they are getting saved first, and you are retrieving them by ID to attach it to the main entity. In our case, first I will save author, then I will save publisher, then I will save category. These 3 will be saved independently without using the book object. But book detail and reviews are dependent on book. When I am saving book object, automatically I will save book details and reviews object. They will be saved to the appropriate table. So that is why I have created author service, category service and publisher service. Let us see what are all the methods available. Let me go to author service, add, update, delete, get by ID. I don't want to get all the authors. I don't want to see all the authors in a website. Next is publisher. Same, add, update, delete and publisher. Next one is category. Add, update, delete and get by ID. And all these are implemented properly in the service IMPL. I have used author repository, ModelMapper. You know how to use ModelMapper, mapper.map. Everywhere it is the same. In category service IMPL also mapper.map. As of now we are just using mapper.map. Simple code, easy way. We have done it. In book service IMPL also the same thing what we have done earlier. I have not done any changes. It is the same code. I have copy pasted it. All done and dusted. Now I have got app config where we are creating the mapper object. That's it. Next let me go to the main class. Before running this as a REST API, I just want to add few authors, categories and publishers to the database. Together with that I also want to add few books to the database because I want to see the exceptions, correct it and then run it as a REST API. So for that I have made my class implement command line runner, override run method. I have auto-wired book service, category service, author service and publisher service. As I told you, these 3 are independent entities. They should be saved to the table even before getting attached to the book object. So for that I have done the process. This has 3 instance variables, author ID, the name of the author and the country. So I have created 2 author objects. I have added null. This is for author ID. If you don't want author ID in author DTO class, you can very well remove it. It is not going to give any error. So similar to that, I am trying to add publisher to publisher table. Publisher DTO, this is the ID, this is the name of the publisher, this is the address. The last one is publisher is having list of books. I am giving it as null. Similarly for the second one, publisher DTO. Okay. Next is category. Category is many to many. So it has to be saved to category table which is independent of book. So here category ID, I am having category name. Category has list of books. Okay. This is the initial setup. In SRC main resources, I have also added the YAML file. I have given DDL auto as create. Now let us run and check this. We will get exceptions, that is okay. We will try it out. While getting exceptions, we will understand it, we will correct it, and simultaneously we will modify the application till we get the final output. Let me run this. This is a REST API. So select your application, right click, run as Spring Boot app. So till now we did not get any error. On the top, whatever you are seeing, you can neglect it because it is trying to remove that particular table which doesn't exist. It is dropping all the existing tables. Of course, we don't have any tables because we have given DDL auto as create. It is dropping the existing tables and starting to create the tables. Totally, we should have 8 tables. First one is author, next one is book, third book underscore category, then book underscore reviews, then book underscore detail 5, then category 6, then publisher 7, then review 8. So totally 8 tables are created. Let us also see the properties that are available in these tables. Author ID, country, author name. Next is book. Book has author underscore ID. We told no, here see. Author underscore ID, book underscore ID, detailed underscore ID. If I don't give join column, it will come as book underscore detail underscore ID. Then price, then publisher underscore ID, ISBN, title, primary key is book ID. Next one is book underscore category. We have used join table, so it is coming clean. The column names, book ID and category ID. In case of reviews, we have not used join table, so the column name see book underscore ID, reviews underscore review underscore ID. Reviews is the property name. Next is book detail. Detail ID, pages, year published and language. Yeah. And the next one is category. Category ID, category name. Next is publisher. Publisher ID, address, name. Primary key is publisher ID. Okay. So all these are added and the details are added to the appropriate tables. In case of author, country and author name. Till this, everything is working perfectly fine. Now, let us check in the database. Use YT Spring DB. Show tables. Describe book. Author ID, book ID, detail ID, price, publisher ID, ISBN title. Then we have got category. Select star from category. Select star from publisher. Then next one is select star from author. Okay, these 3 tables are ready. Reviews we have not given. So book underscore reviews will not be available. We will not have book details, book underscore category. Describe book underscore detail and describe review. Okay. So these are the tables. Now let us move on for the next step. I will go to application.yml, change from create to update. Save this. Next, let me go to the main class. I will comment till this part. Now we need to add a book object to the book table. For that, first we need book detail. Let me create a book detail object. Book detail DTO equal to book detail. New book detail DTO, which expects detail ID, which is null, language, number of pages and year published. Next we need review DTO. Review DTO is equal to new review DTO. Review ID, reviewer name, comments and rating. Let us add 3 reviews. Let us convert it into a list. List of review DTO. Reviews is equal to arrays.asList and pass the reviews. Okay. For my book, I need all the properties. I have added one to one, one to many. Next is many to one and many to many. For many to one, I need to pull the publisher and the author from the backend. So for that, let us get the publisher DTO object. Publisher DTO is equal to, guys, in this case we have saved it to the table. Now I need to pull the existing publisher which is there in the database. So for that, let me use publisher service. Already I have auto-bited them and we have added the appropriate methods there. Dot get by ID by passing the publisher ID. So what is the publisher ID here? 50. And let me see the author ID also. Author ID is 100. Publisher ID is 50. Similarly, let me get the author ID. Author DTO is equal to author service dot get by ID by passing the author ID which is 1. Similar to that, we need to get the categories. So in case of publisher and author, it is 1. That is, many books belong to one publisher, many books belong to one author. So 1 is enough. But in case of categories, we need a list. It is your choice whether you are going to give 1 or 2, but you need to convert it into a list and then only you can attach it to the book object. So let me get the category one by one. Category DTO 1 is equal to category service. I have auto-bited all this on the top. Dot get by ID. Let me see the category ID also. Category ID is 1 and 2. Let me have it as 1. Again, get by ID 2. This is category DTO. Let us create list of category DTO. Categories is equal to arrays.asList, or you can use list.off. Category DTO 1, category DTO 2. One book belonging to 2 categories. So we have added for 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to 1 and many to many. What next? We need to create a book DTO object and call add book method to save it in the database. Now we will get many errors and exceptions. We will solve it one by one. In our case, it is not book DTO, it is book request because it is associated with the controller. That's why I gave that name. Book request is equal to new book request of, it has title, price, book DTO object, then book detail DTO object, then author DTO, publisher DTO, list of review DTO, list of category DTO. So when I press enter, all the properties should come automatically. Enter. All the properties are added automatically. But for title, we are supposed to provide the name. Let me give it as 7 habits. And price is 900. Yes. In one single stretch, I have added everything. In the next line, let us call add book method of book service. Book service dot add book by passing book request object. Now all set. Let me run this. Relaunch the application. Because this application is running in a particular port, this is a REST API, not a normal data.jpa application. Okay, now we are getting the first exception. Model mapping errors. For publisher service IMPL, let me go to this particular line. The exception occurs when you are trying to get publisher by ID. What is the exception? Fail to lazily initialize a collection of role publisher.books. In our publisher class, we are having one to many list of books. When you say one to many, you are trying to fetch many books. By default, the fetch type is lazy. So you need to either convert it into fetch is equal to fetch type.eager, or you have to use a transactional annotation. When I am fetching the publisher, it should fetch all the book details. If you feel so, then you can come here and change fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. But this is not the right approach. If I give this, the first exception will be gone. That is, the lazy initialization part will be gone. It will try to fetch the books. In our case, books is null. again I will get an exception. But instead of this, there is also a workaround. We will see that also. As of now, let me save this and run it. Now the first exception for the publisher is gone. Means it is fetching the publisher. Now it is trying to fetch the author. The author is not available, so it is giving no value present. Why? Let me check the author ID. Author ID is 100 and 101. But I have given some other value, I think so. Author ID should be 100. Now let me rerun this. The moment we gave fetch is equal to fetch type.eager, the error is gone. Automatically it is saving the book into the book table. Book details is saved to book details table. Review is saved to reviews table. Then we have got book underscore category, book underscore reviews, and of course book is saved to book table. Let us check in the database also. Select star from book. We have got the output. Just like what we have seen here. Book ID, title, ISBN, price, details ID, publisher ID and author ID. Also let us check select star from review, select star from book underscore review, reviews, because our property name, that is the instance variable name, is reviews. Similarly it is select star from book underscore category. Okay, one book in two categories. This is okay, fine. Till now it has worked perfectly fine. I told that I can use either fetch type.eager or there is one other solution. Let us see the other solution. Because fetch type.eager is not the right approach. I'll add the parenthesis here and I'm just going to comment it. So if you want to check, you can also check it out by using fetch type.eager. Guys, I will upload this project in the Git repository. The Git link will be shared in the description. Now I will go to publisher service IMPL. Again I should get the same exception. Let me go to Spring Boot application, that is the main class. Let me give a different book name. Remaining things I will leave as such. Book details DTO will be saved as a separate record. Author DTO, same author, same publisher. Reviews. In case of reviews, let me have different names. And same categories. This time also I should get the exception, the same exception that I have got for publisher. Once we get the exception, we will go and modify the code. Yeah. Lazy initialize a collection of role publisher.books. Okay, go to publisher service IMPL. Now we are getting the exception in this particular line. The reason being, publisher is having a list of books. The relationship is one to many. It is trying to fetch the books. Fetch type is lazy. That is why we are getting an exception. There is one other approach where we can add another annotation as at transactional. If I add at transactional annotation above a method, then Hibernate will open up the session. It will wait till the list of books are loaded. Only after that it is going to return the publisher object. That is the meaning of it. Okay, let me add a transactional. Be very careful, import the transactional from Spring Framework. This can be added either above the method or above the class. Now I have added it above the method. Let me rerun the application again. Above the method or above the class. Now I have added it above the method. Let me rerun the application again. Now the book is added properly to the table. So which is a better approach? Using at transactional or using fetch is equal to fetch type.eager? using at transactional. Why? Because fetch is equal to fetch type.eager means one publisher can have thousands of books. If you are trying to fetch everything, then the application will take time to load. Rather, you can use at transactional annotation. Till this, it is working perfectly fine. The final piece that we need to check is to retrieve all the books. So let me go to the main class. First, let me comment this line. If I don't comment, again and again the book objects will be getting added as book records in the database. I don't want that. Next, let me call the method of book service. Book service dot get all dot for each. Implement consumer using method reference system dot out double colon println. Okay. Let me add a dummy println statement above also. Now let me relaunch the application. Here we are getting an exception. Let me scroll up to the top. If you notice, it is showing that the exception is because of ModelMapper. But the exception is not because of ModelMapper, but because of Spring trying to use Hibernate to connect to the database. So let us see what are the 3 errors that has occurred. First one, converter ModelMapper is throwing an exception because it's not able to convert persistent bag into list. Fail to lazily initialize a collection of role. Book dot reviews. One book having many reviews, which means in our book class, when we are using one-to-many annotation, together with cascade, we are supposed to write fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. So that is the first exception. Then next one. Let me scroll up to the second error. I'll maximize the console. See, first line it is showing the exception is because of ModelMapper, but the original exception is fail to lazily initialize a collection of role. One book depends on one publisher. Publisher depends on book means one publisher is having many books. We earlier used fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. Then we removed it and we have added a transactional annotation above get by ID. But now here we are using get all method of book service. How it will know about the transactional annotation? That is why again we are getting this error, which means in publisher we are having books as an instance variable above which we have added at one-to-many annotation. Again here also we are supposed to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. I have commented it, right? Let it be commented only. Now we will see the last exception. I will maximize console again. 3 errors it told. One is because of book.reviews, one-to-many. Publisher.books, one-to-many. And the last one is lazy initialization exception. Fail to lazily initialize a collection of role. One book having many categories. Which means when I am using many-to-many annotation, here also I am supposed to use fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. Many-to-many. We are trying to retrieve many objects. One book having many categories. One book having many reviews. So wherever there is many, the type should be fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. Is it the right approach? No. Rather, I can use at transactional annotation where Hibernate will open up the session. It will wait till categories, the publisher having books and the reviews are loaded. Finally, it will do the operation as in here in book service IMPL. When you are calling find all method, if you are adding at transactional annotation, Hibernate will open up the session. It will wait till all the necessary details relevant to the book is getting loaded as in reviews, then categories. Book depends on publisher, publisher depends on books. If you don't have anything also no issue, it will wait till all of them are loaded, then it will return the list of books. Once we are getting the list of books, we can do the conversion. So my dear guys, working with ModelMapper is way too easy. Whether you are going to work with a basic application or you are going to work with a class which is having relationship with multiple classes, the way that you are going to approach ModelMapper is going to be the same. It is one single line, mapper.map. Convert DTO into entity or entity into DTO. This is what you are going to do. If at all your property names are different, If at all you need to take care of null values, in those scenarios only you need to add more configuration while creating the model mapper object. That is in app config. I am not touching that part now. Okay. So what will happen if I am going to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager? Where and all we need to add? First is in book class. For one to many, I need to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. That will be done. The next one is in publisher. I need to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. That is the second part. Then the third part is in book class. I have many to many annotation. Here also I need to write fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. So 3 errors will be gone. I will get one more extra error. What is that? Here we are using many to many. In category class also we are having many to many annotation. Here also I have to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager. But this is a bidirectional relationship. There will be a conflict. So what is the right approach? It is better to use at transactional annotation. Wherever you feel the values are needed immediately, you use fetch is equal to fetch type.eager, or it is better that you use at transactional annotation. So I can go to book service IMPL, above get all method. Let me add one single annotation at transactional. This should be from Spring Framework. Let me save this and I will relaunch the application. Now see, here we have got the output. See the last two lines, we have got the output. It is returning me the list of books. Title, price, ISBN, book detail. One book is having one book detail object. One book is having one author, as in many books belong to one author. Then one book is having one publisher, as in many books belong to one publisher. One book is having many reviews, which is an array list. Then after this reviews, we are also having categories. One book belongs to many categories. Okay, one last thing. Similar to getting all the books, I can also get all the publishers. I can get all categories. We will try that also. Let me go to the main class. In the main class, similar to getting all the books, I want to get all the publishers and all the categories. We don't have method for it. So let me go to iPublisher service. Here let me add the method list of publisher DTO, get all publishers. Okay, let me implement it in publisher service IMPL. Go to the class, keep the cursor here, add unimplemented methods. Come down and we need to write the logic. Let us add it. The first line is I need to retrieve the list of publishers, repository.findAll. This returns me a list of publisher objects. Publishers is equal to. This is returning a list of publisher objects. Then I need to convert the publishers into a stream. Then call .map method. This is from our streams API. .map. One by one publisher is coming inside. Arrow mapper.map. Convert the publisher into publisher DTO object. Publisher DTO.class. Then convert it into a list. .toList. The return type is a list of publisher DTO objects. So let me add the return statement over here only. Similarly, we will do it for category service IMPL. First, let me go to iCategory service. Let me add the method list of category DTO, get all categories. Go to the implementation class. Keep the cursor in the class, add unimplemented methods. We need to write the same logic, so let me copy it from the other class. It is similar to the method that you have returned for get all in book service IMPL and publisher service IMPL. I need to replace publisher with category. Okay, this is done. Guys, here also when you are trying to get all the categories, one category is having many books, it will throw an exception, fail to lazily initialize an object of a role category.books, which means I am supposed to add fetch is equal to fetch type.eager in books in the category class. Here, I don't want to do that. Rather, we can use a transactional annotation. Let us see the exception and then we will go and modify it. Same is the case for publisher also. So using publisher service, let us try to get the list of all publishers. Get all publishers dot for each. I'll copy paste this line. And the next one is get all categories. Category service dot get all categories dot for each. Let me relaunch the application. This time also we will be getting an exception. One publisher depends on many books. So that is the exception that we will get. Let us see that. I have got the exception. Let me scroll up to the top. If you notice, you may feel that the exception is because of ModelMapper, but it is not. Scroll down and see the root cause of the exception. Lazy initialization exception. One publisher depends on many books, which means in publisher I am having book as an instance variable. The books is of type 1 to many. So you are supposed to add fetch is equal to fetch type dot eager. We don't want to do that. So let us go to the publisher service IMPL and add at transactional. Guys, here in two places we need it. So it's better that we can add it above the class also. If the number of methods that needs a transactional annotation is more, you can add it above the class also. As of now, I will write it above the method. Let me save it, relaunch it. This time I need to get an exception because of category depending on books. Okay. First I should see whether I am getting publishers. Yeah, I am getting the list of publishers. Next, let me scroll down. See the exception for category. The root cause. Lazy initialization exception. One category depends on many books. Now what we can do, go to category service IMPL and add a transactional annotation. Okay, let me relaunch the application. Now I should get the list of categories also. Here I am getting both the categories that we have added in the database. Till now we have been running this application as a console based application, as in all that we have been doing is in the main class. I want to see the list of books as a REST API. I want to test this REST API using Postman. Let us try that. So here I will comment all these lines. I already have a book controller. As I told you guys, this is the extension of the previous application where I have explained it using ModelMapper. I want to get the list of books and the books by book ID. Let me open Postman. Let me add the URL localhost :8081/books. I have not given the proper URL. I have simply added /books in my controller. The HTTP method is get, click send. Here I am getting the output, but there is a flaw in this output. Let us see what exactly it is. This is the first book. I have title, price, ISBN. One book is having one book detail. Then I have author. One book has one publisher, but publisher has list of books. It becomes recursive. See, again the first book is coming. Same 7 habits, 900, you can see that. ISBN, book ID is 1, book detail. This book is having publisher. See, it becomes recursive. Book depends on publisher, publisher depends on book. Likewise, it is going on and on and on. See this. So how to change this output? This is my entity. What is coming inside is a book request object. What goes back is a book response object. In the controller class, if you notice, the return type is book response. Let me open the book response class. The output that you are seeing is book response, which means it is printing title, price, ISBN, book detail DTO object, author DTO object, then publisher DTO object. In case of publisher DTO, we are having a list of book response. This is the place where it is getting recursive. Already we have given toString exclude books, but REST API cannot understand that. So explicitly you need to add one more annotation at JSON ignore, which means this books will be ignored. When it is printing publisher, it is going to print only publisher ID, name and address. Going back to book response. Next it has to print the list of review DTOs. It is okay, fine, not an issue at all. What about category? In category, again I am having list of book response, which means I have to add @json ignore here also. That's it. Let us relaunch the application again. Let me go to Postman. We will test it. This is the URL, click send. See, these many queries are getting executed. Automatically the console got opened. Let me again open Postman to see the output. For the first book object, title, price, ISBN, book detail. In case of author, I am getting author ID, name and country. See, for publisher, only publisher ID, name and address. Reviews, one book can have many reviews, which is an array. See, it is ending with square bracket. Categories, one book can have many category objects. Category has list of books. This is not getting printed now. It is not recursive. I hope this is clear. Now, together with this, let us also check get book by ID. I am having two books. This is the first book. The second book is the atom theory. So let me try the second one. Here we have got the output. Author, publisher, reviews and category. So guys, I hope it is clear. We have learned how to use ModelMapper. When you are working with ModelMapper, if one class is having multiple relationships as in one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, you don't have to do any workaround. It is enough that you give one single line, mapper.map. Let me open book service IMPL. See the method that I have called, mapper.map. Convert DTO into entity. Wherever you are querying, convert entity into DTO. That's it. Nothing fancy about ModelMapper. It is way too easy to use. Whether you are working with a very basic example or a class which is having relationship with multiple classes as in one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one, the approach is very simple. But you should be very good in working with Hibernate specific annotations, how the mapping is done. If you are able to do that, then it is an easy task. Okay, guys, I hope it is very clear. This is a very long video, but it is a detailed video of ModelMapper while you are working with entities having relationship with other classes as in one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-one and many-to-many. In the next video, I will explain how to use mapstruct to convert entity into DTO and DTO into entity. See you in the next video. Thank you.